Before we look at today's lesson, Ryan 37 from Minnesota, why don't you look at the three parts of the swing once the foot's down. You see Jeff Hall, there's rotation. Look how tight that is with the launch angle back. Excellent rotation sets up the fast rotational power. Once he gets out of the rotation, the next thing we have to develop is a drive of the hands outside the rotation. Not much, but just a drive and extension of the knob towards the target pine of the ball. Now the rotation is going to pull that in an arc, but we're aiming on the plane where the ball is going to be when we strike it. And then when the lead arm can go no farther, the top hand can extend and snap through, and we get a great snap, A to B. We want to power into the ball and then power through the ball, just like you see Jeff Hall doing here. Rotation, stabbing extension, and then a snap through. And you want to really try to accelerate to the ball, and you want to aim at the bottom of the ball so you cut it and get underspin and get line drives. Just a tremendous swing by one of the top ball strikers all the time. You see he goes to impact, and then Jeff goes to full extension. There's no slowdown, and it's key to get from point A to point B there as fast as you can, yet understand where the point of contact is. Look at what a great swing that is. Now here's your practice swings. Look at this. This was your practice swing, believe it or not. No hip rotation, nothing driving, and you're just rolling the wrists over. No arm extension. So you can see that from practice swings lots of times what the flaw is. Opening practice doesn't look bad, but then look how jammed you are. You're jammed right here. There's no drive or extension of the knob forward, no stabbing motion. And because you have to make the bat to hit the ball, you roll over on almost every swing. You short arm it, you're jammed, and then you roll over. You can see right there, there's no driving extension. If you wanted to hit something hard like Hall, you drive your hands forward off the rotation, the knob forward. Lead arm can't get any further. You continue to drive the top hand within rotation, you get the snap. See that there's no snap through or anything else, so it's a highly flawed swing. And you played a league once a week, and some plans of maybe becoming a tournament player, but again, there's just no way you can consistently strike the ball with those kind of mechanics. It's so jammed right there, the arms are pinned to the chest still. So we had to figure out what we're going to do to try to get this stabbing extension created better. Every swing you can see looks the same. It's just like you're dragging the bat around. Again, with Hall, you can see the rotation, extension, and snap. And it's very powerful, and it's really quick. That's probably a third of the second for the whole thing. There's a shot of me doing the same thing. Rotation, extension, and snap through. And here's Brett, rotation, extension, snap through. All different styles, a little bit different, but all the same three fundamentals. So I identified that you really had to get a lot, but there's Jeff Roxby. Not a very big guy that just has had a great career. And watch how he really drives the ball. Rotation, a strong drive, and the snap will come much easier. So we wanted to work on getting a little tighter diagonal torque. Torque between the right hip and the real shoulder coming back. Diagonal torque drill is great. And then we wanted to work on getting that driving extension. And the slide too, we don't use the swing simulator, we just use part of it. The rope gives us a path. Look at how you're really driving and extending. Trusting it that you're going to drive and extend towards the target. Now the point of contact, we rotate, we drive, and there you get a snap, and that gives you a real defined feeling of an X snap into the point of target. And the ball on the rope, then you can go through all three parts of it: rotation, extension, and then snap through. Just a good looking swing that we wanted to work on a one-arm finish by driving it so hard you finish with one hand. But I like this visual here. We talk about cutting through the ball and the importance of not rolling over early. Look at you, keep an axe grip, and look at your axe. It cuts through the bottom half of the ball, and you get underspin with the evil two-piece rocket batting practice ball. Look at that. You need to rotate. You could have driven through and kept that rotation going a little bit better, but it's a great drill. It's something that really visually will keep you from rolling over. Also, the second ball on the tee here, you don't look down the name of the first ball. You're watching the ball come in. That's where you practice your target. Tee swings, look how different you looked already on the tee here. This is day 2. Rotation, extension, and snap through. Rotation, there's an extension. The knob's aiming at the bottom of the ball. Look at lead arm can go no farther. The rotation continues pulling around and driving, and then your top hand extends and drives through. There's wrist torque in there too, but you can't force that. If you don't have a rotation and extension, it's hard to force it. For the backside, we worked on going to center field and backside, and then here's your swings live. Look at the difference in that. You tended to drive the knob up a little bit too much. You'll see in this next frame here, you drive it up too much and then you roll over the top. See, and you're a little bit early on the ball. You can see where that knob is driven up. That knob really doesn't want to drive up much higher than the ball. Otherwise, you start to get it roll over. See where your knob is aiming there? You're driving the hands and the knob on that extension and that stabbing extension towards the bottom. You're working right there. That's good. That's a lot. That's parallel to the ground, level on a higher pitch, chest high pitch. And then when you come through your rotation, now that was a good swing, Ryan. But watch, you just cut underneath it. Learning a new swing. It's a great looking swing, but learning a new swing, you're going to have some timing issues and have to relearn it. But here's a low pitch that you would have really been jammed on before. Look, you drive the knob towards it, and there's a nice snap through. Great cutting swing on that ball. Your exit speed was really low before. When you started, it was 54 miles an hour average. And at the end, you went up 11 miles an hour to 65, and you hit 80 miles an hour. This is a great ball. Look at that bat head whip through on that. There's a stabbing extension, and then the bat head whips through. When the lead arm can only gets to the end, the top arm can still extend, and that's what creates the lag and snap. You go from point A to point B, just absolutely as fast as you can. The rotation is great. Let's look at these live swings at the end.
Well, first of all, when I hit a good ball, you don't feel it, and I can tell right away if it's good or not. And it's just really focusing on that rotation and that stab, which has been the hardest part this whole time for me, is to get a good stab.
That's a DeMarini juggernaut, and you play USA. Talk a little bit about what you thought of the bat.
I think it's a great bat. It has good pop. Seems like the sweet spot is pretty large on it. I would say I would definitely give this a try.
I don't always swing senior bats, but when I do, I prefer the DeMarini. Stay in loaded, my friends.